If you're in a high-pace, high-demand field, you already know the trap. You're trying to get everything done, and everything typically means administrative work included. Emails, write-ups, trackers, and reports. That stuff seems small, but it steals the energy out of your day. And the real cost isn't just time. The cost is leadership. Because when you're buried in administrative tasks, the first things to go are the real leadership challenges that matter to your organization and your people. I'm talking about building real connections, developing your people, and making culture a priority on purpose. So today I'm going to show you how I use ChatGPT as a force multiplier to knock out tasks with ease, win back those hours, and redirect your time into real leadership that matters. Let's kill the biggest myth right up front. Some people think that using AI is being lazy. I think that mindset is simply outdated. If you're not leaning forward into tools that make you more versatile and more efficient as a leader, you're willfully choosing to stay bogged down. And that's a real problem when your job demands speed, clarity, and consistency. AI doesn't replace leadership, AI removes friction. And the time that you save is the time that leaders should be using to reinvest back in their team, back in their culture, and to those real connections that matter. Here's my philosophy. I use ChatGPT as my executive assistant. It's not my decision maker, it's not my moral compass, and it's not my replacement. It helps me think, organize, draft, and refine, but I still own the judgment and the accountability. Here's some stuff that I use it for almost every single day. Brainstorming approaches on complex issue and cultural problems, bouncing ideas around to help me narrow down what the best option might be, turning my rough thoughts into professional products quickly, and analyzing data and consolidating reports. Here's the system that I use that changed everything for me as a leader. I use speech to text to talk through what I need. It could be a counseling chit, a proposal, a white paper, an award write-up, or a summary, whatever I need. Then I feed that information into ChatGPT. And I tell it to organize it, format it, tighten it, and make it professional and clear. Then I do what leaders do. I review it, I verify it, I proof it, I adjust the tone and the intent, then I make sure it aligns to the standards of my organization and the policies that we have. I use this method constantly, even in the car. I dictate my rough idea, ChatGPT cleans it up and organizes my thoughts into a clean paper. Then I send it to my email account so it's ready to go when I get into work. This workflow helps me get those small administrative tasks done in my 30-minute commute to work, so that way I can spend more time with my people and with the organization and less time on administrative burden. This workflow alone has saved me hundreds of hours over the last year. Next, I'm going to break this down into some more case studies on how I use ChatGPT every single day to help ease my job as a leader. Let's start with this obvious win. Here's case number 1, writing tasks. Most leaders don't struggle with having ideas. What they struggle with is taking that idea and turning it into a clean, professional product, especially trying to do that quickly. This is where ChatGPT shines the most. Counseling write-ups, proposals and white papers, awards, formal emails, and any performance documentation. AI helps me get to that end product extremely quickly. Then I refine it and I match it to my tone and my leadership style. AI isn't about outsourcing your work. It's about being effective and accelerating the process. Now let's talk about the use case that separates average leaders from exceptional leaders. Use case number 2 is complex or cultural related issues. When I'm dealing with a complex issue or a cultural problem, I use ChatGPT as my thinking and brainstorming agent. We work together to think about how to solve complex problems. First thing I'll do is give it all the details about the situation. What's happening, who's involved, what are the constraints, what success looks like, and what I'm trying to avoid. Then I'll have it generate approaches and pressure test each one of them. But here's the part that I use every single time, and it's a game changer. I ask ChatGPT to give me the best, the most probable, and the worst case outcomes that it thinks might happen. Seeing the full spectrum laid out helps me anticipate risk, prepare mitigations, avoid being surprised, and helps me communicate clearly up and down the chain of command. And when it comes to culture, I take it one step further. further. Cultural shifts are hard to recognize. They don't always show up as some grand event. They show up as those small, nuanced patterns. So I'll ask ChatGPT some follow-up questions. What are some subtle signs that I can look for that this is working? What are some subtle signs that I can look for that this is failing? What are some small behaviors that I can look for that show me that trust is either building or eroding? Because those little signals are hard to recognize when you're moving fast. This helps me keep my eyes open for those little early indicators and helps me recognize a small problem before it turns into a big one. And no, I'm not letting AI lead my culture. I'm using AI to sharpen myself so I can lead culture with intention. Here's another case study for AI. This is another way that I use ChatGPT that leaders are simply sleeping on. I use it to boost my learning agility. Leaders need learning agility, especially in high-tempo, high-pace environments. Learning agility is your ability to digest new information, comprehend it, and then apply it. This is a critical skill that leaders need, and AI is here to help. This isn't just about being smart. This is how fast you can go from "I've never seen this" or "I don't know it yet" to "I understand it" to "I can apply it and teach it." So when I'm trying to learn a new concept, I ask ChatGPT to teach it in a way that I'll understand as a leader. Break it down into smaller steps. Translate that expert language into practical language. Give me examples that match my environment. And it can even quiz you to make sure that you actually understand what you just got taught. That's how real leaders can increase their learning agility with AI now. It shortens the time span between confusion and competence. Here's another case study for AI: consolidating data and reports. This is a huge time saver that most leaders don't expect. I've used ChatGPT to analyze large reports and lots of data to see if there's anything that I'm missing that's minute or small. I've used it to combine multiple reports into one master consolidated report. Here's a real-world example. I had 40 memorandums for the record, and I needed to take all of those and combine the hours and the information into one master memorandum for the record that I could submit to higher headquarters. Manually, that would have taken me 4 or 5 hours to comb across all 40 reports. With AI, I got it done in less than an hour. And the key is here, I could do it myself. AI just got me to the end product faster. Then I was able to review, proofread, and finalize the product. That's force multiplication. Here's 2 common leadership screw-ups that AI can help you fix fast. These are the things that I've seen as a senior executive leader that frontline leaders routinely don't do well, and they can capitalize on AI to make themselves more efficient. Leaders at the deck plate level are typically not good at documenting performance, both good and bad, because we work in a high-paced environment, and taking time to document those details takes time that we simply don't have. This is where leaders need to leverage AI immediately. What I've seen is that performance documentation is too vague, it's too inconsistent, it's too late, or it's too emotional. AI helps you draft something that is objective and specific fast. Then you can revise it and finalize it with ease. If you're not using AI in this fashion, you're choosing to be bogged down and choosing to struggle. The second way I see leaders struggle is making points without being emotional. When you're frustrated as a leader, it's easy for that message to come out wrong and not how you expected it to go across. AI helps you keep the standard, keep the accountability, but helps you remove the emotion. You can use this when drafting documentation, when creating key talking points, when sending an email if you want to convey a point but strip away the emotion. If you're a victim of typing something when you're mad and sending that emotional email, use AI now. Here's some non-negotiables that leaders have to ensure that they consider when they're using artificial intelligence in today's world. Here's my quick rules. Don't use AI for PII, OPSEC, PHI, or classified information. Ever. That is a quick way to end up on the wrong end of trouble. So avoid those topics at all costs. AI doesn't replace proofreading. You have to check that end result. AI will produce errors. AI will make mistakes. So you still need to proofread and verify. You're just getting to a 95% completed product way faster than you could alone. And the last one is a huge game changer. If you need exact policy or you want to ask a question about handling a specific policy-related situation, what I do is I upload the most recent reference and I ask ChatGPT to scour that resource to find me the most relevant answer, not going to search the internet to find what it thinks I might want. I'm directing the focus down to those 500 or 600 pages in that instruction. Don't forget about the step we just talked about to verify. So a lot of times I will ask ChatGPT to give me the exact page number and paragraph. That way I can quickly go verify what ChatGPT generated for me. Also, the better your input and the more information and details you give AI, the better your output. Just like the old school shit in, shit out, AI is the same way. If you're a high demand leader, your time is your most valuable resource. AI isn't about doing less. It's about doing the administrative work quicker so you can get to the real leadership that matters to your organization. Building trust, building clarity, and building that culture. If this helped you, hit that subscribe button. This helps me share this information with more leaders. And if you want more leadership tools and ready-to-use templates, check out my beginner leadership toolkit. It includes 25 leadership prompts that I use every single week as a leader to help me be more efficient. Everything I talked about in this video is included in that guide. And if you want the full gamut of resources, check out my Anchored Leadership Toolkit. It includes everything from my beginner guide, plus it's jam-packed with tons of additional value, all born from nearly 20 years of leading leaders. The links to the toolkits are in the description. If you want to lead better, check them out. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.